What is art? That question has been asked for centuries, and the truth is, there is no single answer. Art doesn't have one fixed, universal definition. It's broad, open, and ever changing. What one person sees as art, another might not, and that's what makes it so powerful. Art can be anything and everything. It's a painting hanging in a museum, a song you sing in the shower, or a dance you performed on a quiet street. It can be traditional or digital, realistic or abstract, silent or loud. Art might be a sculpture made from marble or a sculpture made from trash. It can be spontaneous or carefully planned, decorative or deeply political. Some people define art as a form of self expression, a way to let out what's inside your emotions, thoughts, dreams, and struggles. Others see it as a tool for communication, used to tell stories or a message. It can be spiritual, intellectual, therapeutic, or purely aesthetic. Sometimes, art is created to bring comfort. Other times, it exists to disturb, question, or provoke change. Because art is shaped by culture, history, and personal perspective, its meaning shifts from person to person and from generation to generation. What is considered art today might not have been valued in the past, and what we call art now might be seen differently in the future. In the end, art isn't defined by strict rules. It's defined by its impact and how it makes us think, feel, and respond. Art is what makes us want to create, what we interpret, and what we live with. And maybe the beauty of art lies in the fact that it refuses to be pinned down into just one definition. Art is everywhere. It's in the stories we tell, the clothes we wear, the buildings we live in, and the songs we sing. Whether we realize it or not, art plays a constant role in our everyday lives, and it affects people in powerful, deeply personal ways. One of the most important roles of art is connection. It connects us to each other across cultures, languages, and generations. Through art, we can understand people's joys, pains, beliefs, and dreams, even if they lived centuries ago or live on the other side of the world. Art helps us relate, empathize, and feel less alone. Art also plays a vital role in expressing identity and preserving history. It can represent a culture, tell the story of a community, or give a voice to those who have been silenced. Murals, music, literature, and film are just some of the many forms used to record human experiences, from the personal to the political. In times of crisis, art can be used as a source of healing. It gives us an outlet to release emotion and process trauma. In moments of celebration, it adds color, joy, and meaning. It has the power to inspire movements, challenge the status quo, and spark change. Art doesn't just reflect the world, it has the power to reshape it. For individuals, engaging with art, whether creating or simply experiencing it, can improve mental health, stimulate the imagination, and offer a sense of purpose. It can entertain us, comfort us, or push us to think critically, even in the most mundane routines. Art reminds us of beauty, creativity, and what it means to be human. In short, art isn't just relevant, it's essential. It's woven into the fabric of our lives. It moves us, shapes us, and stays with us long after the moment has passed. Vince Dherek Joaquino is a 20-year-old Cebuano visual artist known for his watercolor sketches, particularly his recent work featuring the National Museum in Cebu. He began drawing at the age of 4, exhibiting a passion for sketching and capturing everyday objects with an interest in architectural renderings that reflect the city's identity. His sketches have garnered social media attention, featuring his recent work of our National Museum.
So, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your journey as an artist?
Okay, so good day to each and everyone. So allow me to introduce myself. So my name is Vince Dherek Joaquino. I am an incoming third year taking a Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English at the University of Cebu main campus. So currently, I am an urban sketcher. So I'm one of the administrators of Urban Sketchers Cebu. So Urban Sketchers Cebu, this is a local branch of the Urban Sketchers International, wherein we dedicate ourselves rather in sketching places or sketching some locations on the spot. We share the world one drawing at a time. So that is our motto. So I have been an artist for the past I think 10 years. Yeah, I think 10 years. So daghan kog daghan kog subjects gibuhat through art. So sa una more ko into calligraphy, more ko into some sketching, and kahon ako ang focus karon is on the spot urban sketching. So currently naapog ko'y business mga handcraft, mga keychains, mga bookmarks. So the name of the business is Sining de Mabolo. So today akong gibuhat kahon is siya, mag-host ko og mga sketching events every weekend, and at the same time mo travel ko around Cebu or kundi anywhere. I want to sketch. It's because I want to capture memories. I want to capture moments na dili ma-capture sa photograph. So what I do is I will sketch on the spot. I will give myself some 2-3 hours. Maglingkod ko, mag-sketch ko, and yeah, wala siya.
Okay, so how did you discover your passion man for art, kuya?
Okay, I think I will go back to Judah. Flashback ni Junisia. So, drawing is literally mga siya top 1 jud na talent na ako gibistow nako. So, since kindergarten, yeah, hilig kog mga drawing na. So, ang first jud nako na mga usual drawing good is kung makabantay mo sa typical gani na farm, like na ay kahoy-kahoy, na bukid, na isa, na bahay kubo. Mao jud na siya. Ay ang bird kay ana VV. Mao jud na siya. So, mao jud na siya ako ang mo siya core foundation gani sa drawing. But during my elementary years, wala na nako siya gihatag og paki. It's because yeah, I was indulging myself in playing video games ba ako bata ba. So pag grade 6, the story is like nagpractice me og sayaw gani. That's why it's a typical elementary performance na magsayaw-sayaw gani, practice kayo sa Sabado ingana. So there was a Japanese man, naglingkod siya. So nagpractice me sa atubangan sa church. So iyang gibuhat niya, naglingkod siya, nag-sketch siya. Sketch sa simbahan. Ako siya gitan-aw, like I was very kind of amazed by it. It's because kung artist ka, it doesn't necessarily mean that naa kay studio, naa kay materials ingan. Like, yung gibuhat, naglingkod ka siya. Kuha siya sketchbook. Yung sketchbook niya, kanagay ni sa Daiso, kanatag 88, lapis, watercolor. Lingkod siya. Nagtanaw ko niya. Iya gamit niya is charcoal watercolor. Tanaw na ko yung process niya. I told him na sir, may I look at the artwork? Kay as a grade 6 student, of course, you're very curious. Kay mura bit ako nabaguhan. It's because kana mag-drawing ka sa gawas, it's not a usual thing man, good. Kaya usually if artist ka na, adyo ka sa balay, magdugay ka dito sa room ni mo, magbako na lang kay ngana. But kato nakakita ko niya, it allows me, it's like there is a potential ba na you can do art even though kung asa ka or kung say materials nimo, like wala jud siya limits ba as long as you have the potential or as long as you have the passion ana. So mao to, kita ko nag draw siya in just under 1 hour na complete niya iyang sketch niya sa Mabolo Church. So tan-aw na ko siya, it's very realistic jud kayo siya, ako siya gitan mao to. So di kami nagkayuban. So it turns out na he's a traveler. So he travels around the world. So iyang buhaton niya, I think he's around 60. That was year 2017. Dugay na kayo. Dugay na jud kayo. So iyang buhaton niya, kay retire na baya. Travel siya around the world, drawing siya ingan. So diha na ko nakuha ang concept na urban sketching or travel sketching. So in the Philippines, urban sketching is not a thing. But if you go to places like Europe, US, it's a thing na mag-drawing sila bisag asa. So mao to, na-discover na ko, and subsequently, timing na there is actually an organization called Urban Sketchers Cebu, which is one of the chapters of Urban Sketchers International. So the name of the artist, his name was Michiyuki Furuta. He based in Hokkaido, Japan, as an artist. Tiguang na kayo siya. And for Urban Sketchers Cebu, we have architect Oliver Iscanio. He's an architect dedicated to urban sketching. So diha na ko siya na nakuha ang mga techniques sa urban sketching and timing pod. I took major in drafting sa Abiliana. So diha na ko nakuha ang technicalities. So that's why it's very easy for me na lang na mo drawing ko, because as long as you have the knowledge of perspective and basic composition, fights na dyan na siya. Yeah.
Okay. So, you'd say nga, that incident sparked your interest sa art.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because actually, if na ako'y data ba, makashare man, naapa ko'y pictures ako ang first jud nako na on the spot gani na sketch, like kana ganing sketchbook na tag 20 kana nasa kilid-kilid palit ko niya na kanang watercolor pod, na kanang color yellow, mao man na jud na siya watercolor jud, mga tag 25 man na siya sa una. So mo na ako gamit pag drawing. The funny thing here is ang watercolor god is di jud na siya mo work basta bond paper. So di jud na siya mo work, basa ba yung papel. So gihini-hini na ko og paint, and wala po na-satisfy sa una na na-drawing jud nako ang eskwelahan namo with the use of those cheap na material. So diha na ko ni continue mao to, ni level up ko sa akong materials nako. Dugay na 2017. Ano, 8 years na dugay na Yan na. So,
Okay, so with your experience or like journeys as an artist, kuya, have you gone to a former art school or wala ra?
wala.
So,
Pero as an exemption katong drafting, but I cannot consider it as an art school magud kay kuan ba ya. So kuan jud siya, the way I acquire knowledge or skills sa art is based on the environment itself. Like let's just say ko ako, I sometimes watch YouTube for kuan. It could be Pinterest for references, or it could be magtan-aw sa ubang artist. Like there is a joy in feeling magtan-aw ka sa uban, nga na ambot lang kung mag-drawing ka kay kung nay magtan-aw mahulba man jud ta. But for people, for spectators magtan-aw, malipay man gud sila kay diba, sana all ngano makakuan sila, acquire sila sa image.
so ito self-taught gid ay.
It's self-taught. But for technicalities, of course, I learned it at school pod.
Okay, so what is your favorite subject to explore in your artworks?
Kuan, akong favorite subject jud in sa art form nako is kanang real life jud. Ano siya? Ako ang fundamentals jud nako good when it comes to sketching is impressionism. So it's like you're drawing something, for example, mag-drawing ka, let's just say this field, this composition, the sky is blue. So as an artist, dili man na siya pasabot na kung unsay color ana mao na imo ibutang sa paper. No, it's not like that. because when it comes to impression, you will just provide an impression of what is your one what is your perspective of the subject. Let's just say for example the sky is blue, so imuha ka ng pagbuot nimo unsa man nimo i-purple ba nimo ang sky, i-sunset ba nimo ang sky, it's your own point. Like for example, this one, uh, makaingon ko na impressionist style, it's because these colors doesn't exist in reality. So this one, this is a painting that I did last May, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. So nagpaint me, that was in the pag weekend to siya, di ba? Kusuging uwan, baha gani. So akong kagrupo na ako adto mismaktan. So take shelter mi sa Marcelo Ferdinand Bridge. Ana. The funny thing here is that ang uwan imbis pa straight siya, pakilid siya. That's why basa mi tanan. So technically ako ang tubig nako kuan siya gikan sa uwan. Mo siya nature, natural na. So I did a drawing on this na gloomy jud siya kay you know what, kung mag-drawing ko sa dagat good, fog mo jud siya, foggy mo jud siya, but it's your own choice as an artist to provide an impression. So akong gibuhat nako is more ko into warm kay because the atmosphere of it is cool, that's why warm ay mong gibutang nimo, more ka into sa red even though sa picture or sa visual jud nimo is walay red ana. So another thing here pod is sa Bilyana, more ko sa red, but in Abellana na ay mga green, di ba? Daghang mga kahoy, but I choose na i-black lang ako siya. It's because I want to focus the building as a subject. So ingana ang impressionism. Just because mao na imong artwork, it doesn't mean na kung nindot siya dapat realistic, dili siya ingana. That's why imong button nimo is to give an impression what you feel or what you see about the subject. And another example is kining cathedral. Ang cathedral is color puti, di ba? Color puti jud ni siya, but sa akong impression nako more siya into warm. So na siya warm glow niya, bisag wa good ingana. Wala akong ibuhat nako, impression ko jud siya.
Okay.
Sa National Museum, impression ka. It was made on a sunny day, but the impression ako na what if uwan siya, uwan. Ingana. That's why gloomy siya. Ingana. So ingana ka jud siya. Impression ko jud siya. So yeah.
Okay. So proceed to the next question.
Sure.
What context or themes do you often incorporate in your art?
One, ang most content jud nako na i-incorporate nako sa art is ang heritage jud mismo, heritage. Kay kung makita mo sa ako ang subject god, mostly mga old buildings, mga kuan. It's because you know what, Cebu is very blessed to have these tangible elements. Building ka na siya, dili nimo siya mabantayan. Like for example, you're strolling past the Casagordo Museum or the Magellan's Cross, labay ka nindot siya pakpapakana. But if you want to focus on the subject itself, let's just say for example, magbahog ka for like 5 to 10 minutes, diyan nimo ma-realize ba na ninduta day sa carvings nun yang ornaments niya, nindot iyang architecture niya. That's the beauty of architecture. Kay even though I am not an architecture student, I consider that ang architecture good is the mother of all arts. Mojo na siya. If you ask art professors, they consider architecture as the mother of all arts. Kay sa una, ang mga unang tao sa una, ilang first nila buhaton is balay man. Dili man mga paintings, mga oil, balay man. So that's why the first art jud is na jud sa architecture. Yan na. So that's why akong concept jud nako is most likely architecture, mga real elements, at the same time heritage. Kay just like what I said earlier na ang Cebu very blessed jud siya sa mga heritage jud. That's why it is our obligation or it is like our our privilege as an artist or as a Cebuano to preserve our culture jud mismo.
Okay. So, who or what are your biggest influences as an artist? It may be people, experiences, or movements. And
For people, na ako na lang ni siya i-label. Kato, Mr. Michiyuki Furuta. He's a Hokkaido-based abstract artist based in Japan. Yeah. One pod, si Architect Oliver Escanio. He's an architect or he's one of my co-administrators sa Urban Sketcher Cebu. For sa YouTube, we have Mr. James Gurney. He's the author of Dinotopia. So, yung buhato niya is imaginative realism. And yeah, sa environment mismo, kung unsa yung makita sa environment, yeah, daghan kayo. So, I cannot name all of the people or all of the experience, but if I will summarize it myself, duha jud siya. It could be people, it could be experience, or it could be the actions that I made, whether to watch videos nga na. So in art good, dili mo ko makaingon good na there is a direct influence, but it's more of like an indirect influences. Kumpara it's like a domino effect or it's like a butterfly effect na mukalit ka jud na siya pop up in imong mind. So I will not limit this to artists, but it could be people who are in sports, people who are interested in their hobbies, just like playing basketball, riding a bicycle, nga na. So, once yeah, it's like mura bitaw, it's like a collaboration gani between different ideas, different concepts. That what's made me influence as an artist.
Okay. So, moving on, what personal struggles have you encountered as an artist?
Kuan, kuan ni siya. Personal struggle with the artist itself is most likely isang time man jud. Bukas. Kay alam nga na students, iso jud kaayo. That's kuan man gud siya. For the past, I think last year good, I experienced this what we call kanang art drain gani. Mga bitaw, this is like a point sa imuhang journey as an artist good ha. Ano ganing mawagtangan na kag passion kalit lang ba mawala ang spark kana. So it could be many factors like sa ako I am also the editor-in-chief pud sa publication namo sa College of Teacher Education sa UC. Lisod kayo na nagjuggle ko daghang mga org nga na niya lisod pud kayo is because the demand of focusing your time on that specific subject or that specific point will drain your overall competence nimo sa arts. Lisod kaayo. So that was like a tipping point na tapuyan ko mag-drawing nga na. And for example, if I allow myself to na mo adto ko sa lugar mag-sketch ko dili ko ma-satisfy, it's because walay practice akong kamot mo ko mabaguhan. Nga na siya. Like, in art good, lahi, makaingon ko ba na lahi jud it's like, lahi jud ang process jud sa art. Kaya ang art good, di man gud siya makit-an sa daghang tao, sa process mismo. Most people will assume that it is art by the time if the work is finished. But it's not true. The real art lies within its work in progress. That's the joy in it. That's the art in it. Mao jud na siya, lisod jud na siya i-achieve jud. So kaya akong buhaton good, kung mahuman ang klase, adto ko SRP, adto ko nga na ako tanaw mo sa akong sketchbook, daghan jud kay lugar nga na. So Vince, kanang mag-capture record sa kuan sa kanang mga subject. It's because kung ang diary magsuwat siya to words, ang sketchbook mag-capture kag memories through drawings. Nindot man god ang drawing god kumpara sa photograph. Ang photograph god kay pwede rin mo delete, but the joy of drawing god on the spot is nindot man god siya. So mao na lisod kayo time. Number 2 is kuan, pressure. You are pressure. It's because you know what? Most of us have their own biases gani na some people are better than me. Nga na gani siya. I think it's very normal man jud na wa ka ma-envy gani, but that's why it's very important that you don't took it as envy, but kung siya mo siya inspiration gani. Another thing pod sa art good is lisod mamaligya og art, labi na naka sa Pilipinas. if you go to other nations, if you go to other, especially Europe and America, kanang portrait na drawing nila, kanang naong lang good. In the Philippines, it's 500 pesos. Mo nang minimum or kundi mo jud ang maximum jud na agreement. But if you go to America, they sell it for like $100, $200, and $100 is 5,000 pesos. Grabe mo muhatag og kuan og passion ang laing countries when it comes to art. Lahing man gud ang culture sa Philippines. Kay kung drawing ka, pa-drawing ko pwede libre. Nga that's the kind of mentality na naana to as Filipinos because it's like basic stereotype na siya. So, mo dyan, lisod kayo na. That's why if you want to venture into the art world, it's just the business of arts. Kasagaran mamalit og art dili mga Pilipino, kundi mga insect, mga foreigner living in the Philippines. Lahi jud kaayo. Because other people in other nation, they treat art as a luxury commodity. For Filipinos, kuan ka na siya, drawing ka na siya. But if you go to other nation, sayon ra jud ang business arts. That's why I'm very happy in this 21st century na ang art mismo mura siya ni gain gani siya og traction. Like for example, with the rise of what we call aesthetic trend, katong Starry Night, yan na. These are aesthetic trend brought by Pinterest, brought by Instagram. Even though na trendy kayo siya, but it gave a possible a positive impact. So with the rise of art groups ato or Basket Cebu, diha siya na kuan ba na it's possible na maka-share ka og art through social media. And another struggle pod is the struggle of unsa imong drawingon nimo kana. Mao na siya. Maglibog ka unsa drawingon nimo, yan na. Kay your mind itself nagdaggan like dako imong energy ba, daghang energy imong makuha nimo. And last but not the least, the great challenges jud sa art, not just ako but sa art community, is the rise of artificial intelligence. It's like, it's a threat mo gud siya. Threat siya sa artist. Muna ko maingon, okay ra mang AI kanang naki-answer ka na. Okay na siya. But if you use AI, para lang imo siya iingon art ni siya, ako nagimuan ni, kana, it's a no-no. Di na siya ethical. Yeah.
So from those struggles, Kuya, how have those experiences shaped your art or process?
Puan. If you want to ask me, Jude, sa kung yun siya pag-tissue process, makaingon ko na there is no definite process or system mo good sa ako Kay ako good kung mag-drawing ko, basta nalag drawing good, mauna na. Ana, wala ko yung i-follow na rules na dapat mauni, dapat mauna. Wala. Ana. So, as long as the moment na makaingon ka sa imo ang artwork nimo na okay na ni magindot sa mata kana wala na siya. It's like this is like a satisfaction gani kay most people go they treat art as naay formula na solutioning ana murag math. It's not like that. Making art is not like rocket science, but making art is like you just go with the flow. If by the time na mag-drawing ka and then murag na-satisfy ka base mo nakita nimo kana whether you are a beginner or professional unya imo ma-satisfy nimo kay okay ra kana. In art good, you don't need to mind what other people will look at you. Kay kung mag-mind ka nila, palit na printer.
Okay.
Yan.
So going back, since you've mentioned sa struggle nga part about artificial intelligence, so can you expound on your thoughts on AI and its role in art today, like why you see it as a threat?
Yeah. Okay. The idea of AI came to me at around 2021. So wala pa na nausong AI. That was 2 years before AI. So there is a video good that I watched good. It talks about DALL-E. Well, for those who don't know what it is, DALL-E, this is one of the first websites na mo produce of AI. And then mo siya gi-demonstrate ba how AI works. So katong ni watch kong video, katong naghimo og images through AI, that was in the basic infancy stage pa to sa AI. Like for example, mo siya kanang dili pa jud siya accurate kaayo, but you got the point. That website, that AI maka-create na siya og images. Pag watch nako, wala, you know what, wala ko na amaze, wa ko na ko, and it's like, oh, ha? Yan ako, ha? Pwede di ay, yan na. And then, fast forward 2 years later, mo na to, AI mga pictures. Diha to nagsugod sa kanang mga Pixar gani. If nakafamiliar ka tong Pixar na mga poster, movie poster, gihimo siya AI ka na. Di ako ningon na. Something's weird. Weird kayo siya kayo. Ang AI good, you know what, ang AI, even though highly accurate siya, wala siya emotions. Magtanaw kasi lang naong niya, iyang naong niya is wala nag-focus sa viewer. Lahi man gud ang naong good kung mag-focus sa viewer. Lahi jud siya. Niya ang kamot sa AI good is weird kaayo. Bis 5 ang fingers nimo, unom, 7. Yan na weird kaayo. It's like imagine no nakana siya na art form good, dali jud siya dali gani siya ma-misinterpret sa mga tao na mauni mauna. So kini pod kato ganing issue sa Palestine ug Israel. The first images were published in Facebook were AI generated. Mailhan ba ya kay ang AI good na picture good kana ganing oversaturated siya. Di man nimo siya mailhan. But if mo tan-aw ka sa comment section good sa mga tao good, they will assume that it's real, but it's not. But if you look directly to it, dili siya tinuod. Well, for people, for artists just like sa ako, of course, maka-differentiate me what is AI and what is don't. But how about ordinary people? Diyan ako maingon na, that's a threat. Number 2. There was a contest, I think in Manila. Kato nag-contest sila og poster, and then ang gi-submit is kuan montage AI ng mga kuan element, and diha na loophole na pwede ra mo submit mo sa digital and wala may ningong AI, so na consider siya and daog siya nga na. So threat is siya ana. Threat is siya, it's because na buka mo siya kanang dili imong art good and then imo siya giangko na art nimo. Well, I cannot conclude man good. I don't want to conclude good that AI is an art. It's not art. Well, AI is generative. Lahi man good ang generative, lahi pud ang creative. When we say creative, these are works na done through human hands. Like let's just say for example, digital drawing, stylus, tablet, kana drawing, digital art, pwede na siya. But kana mag-type ka, make an art of a bus, make an art of a car. Proceed after 5 seconds kana dili na art, that's generative because anyone can do it. Ano? Okay. So mao na siya. So AI, it's not creative but it's generative. It's not an art because dili artist kabot ana kundi director.
Okay. So how do you think art can help advance environmental or social issues?
Kuan. Well, ang art good, if you look to our history good, ang art good is naa siya hidden message. Okay. If you go back to martial law, gidiscuss na siya contemporary art. 'Di ba in our senior high school years, it talks baya na ang contemporary art during the Marcos regime, mura na siya defiance. Art siya. But you didn't know na naa siya hidden meaning. Nga na, mo nang that's why powerful kayo ang art. Not just throughout sa atong history na to, but throughout history po sa uban ng mga lugar. Art is a form of self-expression. Yan. There was an issue po na usa ka artist. Kato gani iyang gipilit ang saging gamit duct tape sa bungbong. Dagag taw na nga suko. But sa iya, yun, art man eh. Oh yeah, hapon na. So that's the power of art. It's not objective, but it's subjective. Nakana nimo kung moingon ka dili art, but it's art. So for people artists ana, ang art ug ang art dako kay na siya influence gihapon. Even photography is an art man. Kung unsay makita nimo sa subject na powerful jud kay siya. There are famous photos throughout history na grabe jud ang change sa world jud. Ayan na. That's why I consider it na even though art is creative in nature, but art is expressive and it has the capability to have social shifts, to have, yan na, muna siya.
Okay. So in what ways do you see your own art contributing to these causes?
Okay. Well, akong art dyan ako, primarily, it talks about local and heritage culture man dyan ako. So, it's like my advocacy. Because I am a young student at UC Pripod. I am also fascinated with history pod sa ato ang city na to. That's why it's very important that we must remember it. We must preserve our own identity as Cebuano. So that's why ako buhaton ako is to record things na dili makapture sa image, like mag-drawing ko ana, chu 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 chu. This is Cebuano culture, pak pak pak, pak. Ana mo na siya. So this is like my advocacy pod. So currently, well, 2025, it's the Jubilee year man sa Catholic Church. So, there is a passport, Jubilee passport man siya, no? So, imong baton nimo is to visit 31 churches. So, sa ako pod, I am on a quest pod na to visit 31 churches and mag-sketch sa 31 ka churches. So, moto, nahuman ako sa Boloon, Cathedral, ug sa Basilica. Moto siya. Moto. Kutiwason pa na nako, ana. So, kuan siya, it's like my advocacy is to keep a personal record of our history, our own culture, our own heritage. So, that's it.
Okay. So what advice would you give to aspiring artists or young people passionate about art?
Kuan. First of all, I would like to say that art is not limited to through painting, through drawing, through sketching. But art, it could be anything. It could be the love of dancing. It could be the love of doing something. That's art. Well, art is very broad man siya in the context of talent and passion. Ako ma-advise lang dyan no is to just continue. Just pursue your passion lang dyan. Kung ganahan ka, well, pursue it. Because kita god naman tay freedom pod to do it. So mo na siya. And for artists pod na struggling to make a wonderful masterpiece, it's okay. It's part of the process. It's part of your story. The real art comes with your process, not the outcome. Kanang outcome bonus ka na. But the real art jud is the joy of doing it. Yan na. Because I do believe that wala may artist na magbugpot kung mag-drawing. Well, technically na magbugpot, but kung mag-drawing sila ma-relax sila. That's, you know what, that is very amusing as humans, because human as we're very simple beings ramang gud ta. Kung mag-uulta, mangita ta og coping mechanism, ano art? Well, it's very it's like in our nature man gud siya. So, moving forward, balik ko sa igiingon that for people not just artists, but also to ordinary people in the world, just continue pursuing your passion, because who wouldn't know? Di mo bantayan na kanay mong gibuhat nimo, it's already an obra maestra or a masterpiece.
Okay. So last question, where do you see your art going in the next few years?
Di na ako mutubaga. Puhon, exhibit.
Oh.
Puhon, exhibit. Well, ako gi-take good is education. Buangon mo ko nga, education mo ka. Layo man sa mong kurso nimo. Tingin ko, buot di ay. Yan na. So, akong buhaton ako is, few years from now, I will travel, mga dyan na. So, few years from now, as a whole, hopefully, God's will, it will, na ma-enjoy ko sa akong gibuhat na ko through art and through the things that I passionate about. That's all.
Thank you so much.
So, what is art? For some, it's a framed painting in a gallery. For others, a sculpture, a digital design, or a fleeting image on social media. But for Vince Dherek Joaquino, art is more than color on paper or form on canvas. It is an extension of the self. It is a raw expression of joy, struggle, memory, and meaning. It lives not in perfection, but in truth. With every line he draws, every layer of watercolor he lays down, Vince isn't just capturing a scene. He's preserving a moment, a feeling, a piece of the soul that words can't quite hold. His favorite subjects are people, gestures, emotions. Those small but powerful things we often overlook. He doesn't chase grandeur. He embraces implicity. Because to him, art doesn't need extravagance. It needs vulnerability. It needs honesty. Even if that means using whatever tools are available, no matter how modest, and even if that means embracing the imperfections. Art for Vince is as real as it gets, and that's what makes it beautiful. Through Vince's journey, we see that art is also a space where struggle and growth coexist. As an artist, Vince has faced many hurdles, creative blocks, self-doubt, financial limitations, and the pressure of expectations. But even in these challenges, he finds reason to continue, because art isn't just something he does, it's something he is. It's his way of processing the world, of healing, of speaking out, quietly but powerfully. More than just self-expression, Vince sees art as a mirror to the world around him, a tool for awareness, for advocacy, for change. He believes that artists have the power and the responsibility to reflect both beauty and truth. And with each piece, he raises subtle but powerful calls to care for nature, to notice what's broken in society, and to remember what we often forget. In his eyes, art is not passive, it is alive, and it speaks, if only we choose to listen. In an age where artificial intelligence can generate images in seconds, Vince poses a reminder that feels more important than ever. AI can replicate technique, but it cannot replicate soul. It cannot feel the tremble in a hand after a heartbreak. It cannot remember the smell of the rain or the weight of silence after loss. AI can learn style, but not intention. It can imitate, but it cannot mean. Because true art doesn't come from a formula. It comes from a place deep within. It's born from human experience, messy, imperfect, and deeply felt. Ultimately, Vince teaches us that art is not about fame, not about followers, not about achieving flawless design. Art is about connection. Connection to self, understanding who we are when the world is quiet. Connection to others, bridging gaps through emotion and empathy. Connection to the world, observing, questioning, and caring. Art, in its purest form, is life, captured in strokes, in shades, in silence. And through artists like Vince Dherek Joaquino, we are reminded that art is not just meant to be seen, it is meant to be felt. It is meant to remind us that being human in all its struggles, softness, and strength is already a masterpiece.